Hey guys, it's your girl Kiera, and I'm back with another video. But I need to update you on how big my little baby has gotten. Some of you may have watched my previous video, and I showed Milo. He is huge, okay? And I just want to have a wow moment. A wow moment. But the
Wow.
baby is the baby, okay? The baby is the baby. So yeah, he is getting so big and I love him so much. But this video is not about dogs. This video is about Microlocs. Okay, so this video is less about the starter lock method that I chose. It's less about why I chose Braidlocs and all that great stuff. If you're interested in that, I do have videos on my channel, but this one's going to be a tad different, okay? I actually want to talk about the spirituality and the psychology behind embracing your natural hair when you didn't always do that, right? And how it's been for me. So this will be a little bit more of a vulnerable video. You know, I have questions from people that maybe haven't embraced their natural hair. They ask, hey, how has it been for you embracing your natural hair? How do people perceive you? X, Y, and Z. So if you have any curiosity that kind of falls into the lay of those lands, this would be the video for you. So I want to share a little bit about me and just some background because I think this will be relative as I share more about my experience embracing my natural hair. But yeah, I am born and raised in California, Southern California. Grew up in the Inland Empire, but lived most of my adulthood in Los Angeles. And so I'm just Southern California through and through, okay? So that being said, I did spend most of my life in SoCal, but I did spend a couple years down south between Alabama and Houston. So I have more of a well rounded experience. And I learned a lot throughout those years living elsewhere, as well as California. But when it comes to me and my experience, when it comes to embracing my natural hair, no matter where I was at, I wasn't always fully comfortable. Now, in my household, I was always told, you know, black is beautiful. I do believe black is beautiful. It's embedded in who I am, right? My black is beautiful. Screw your opinion, right? But when it comes to hair, right? When it comes to hair, I wasn't always there. And there were moments in my young adult life and teenage life where I did embrace my natural hair and I wore a loose natural style. I wore my fro out, and I was met with kind of discontent and disrespect from some of my peers. You know, even at church, which was so sad to say, but even at church, I remember when I was starting to embrace my natural hair, I had my fro out, and one of the girls that was a peer of mine, she was like, "Oh, Kiera, you need to throw some bundles in there." That's what she told me, right? And at that point, everybody liked bundles. Everybody was wearing bundles and things like that. But I always felt like, why do I want to? I don't want to look like that. I want to look like me, right? And so that was kind of something that did set me back a bit because as much as we don't want to admit to, sometimes the perception of others can play a toll on us, especially as children, right? Because when we're children, when we're young, when we're in that teenage phase, you do want to be accepted to some degree by your peers, right? Maybe you don't want to fully dive into the status quo. I've never been that type of person. I've always been more of a rebellious spirit. But when it comes to my looks, I want to, kind of be accepted, especially during that time of my life, right? And when she said that to me, that really just kind of discouraged me, especially because I wasn't already seeing women in my household embrace their natural hair, wasn't taking care of my natural hair. I didn't know how. Now, YouTube Academy is great, but I wasn't on social media like that. I wasn't on the computer like that. When I was that age, shoot, we had dial up, okay? We didn't have the fancy stuff. We had AOL, Messenger. Look, I'm a millennial, okay? So my time growing up was a lot different than what we're seeing for Gen Z and the generation after that. I don't even know which one that is. Okay, the later generations, right? But all that to say, I did let the opinions of others sway me like during that time of my life. I'm not that person anymore, but I would be a hypocrite to act like I didn't struggle with hair insecurity. Now, skin complexion, never been a problem. I love my brown skin. Despite the colorism that we experience as brown skin, dark skinned women in Southern California, nobody's gonna tell me my black isn't beautiful, right? Body T, okay? Face card, not declining. But my My hair has always been a sensitive topic for me because I just didn't know what to do with it, how to take care of it, what styles worked for me, right? And so when I was met with that feedback, I was very discouraged. Really, me embracing my natural hair 4 years ago was a symbol of the rebellious spirit that I have that says, hey, my black is beautiful from bottom of my toes to the top of my crown, right? It wasn't until me and my husband went to Costa Rica where I felt completely okay with embracing my natural hair. Here are a couple of photos. A beautiful time, not only because of the beaches, the locals, the food, the romance, all that great stuff, but because I was completely me, like during that trip. And I haven't really looked back since. Growing up in California, I will say that my experience as a brown skin and dark skin woman is very different than someone that may be fairer skin, that might more so fit that Western European woman beauty standard that has been pushed to us as millennials that we all know about. Like, there's certain things that I did realize as a brown skinned woman that I was experiencing, but as an individual, it never kind of chipped away at my confidence. Always been confidence in my skin complexion. I'm proud to be a black woman, but I know that my inner black pride that I had wasn't exuding outward. I felt like a hypocrite. I wasn't embracing my natural hair. And to each their own. Like, if I decide I want to get like some bundles tomorrow, braid my locks down and keep it pushing, cool. But I just feel like for me to speak so highly of black power, of black pride, and not be a example of that from the crown of my head, from my head, I was a bit of a hypocrite. Black is beautiful, right, Kiera? So what's going on with that crown? Why are you throwing wigs on there? Why are you still doing weaves? Why are you trying to hide your hair? And so embracing my natural hair and embracing microlocs is a very big spiritual journey for me. If you're a woman that changes up her hair a lot, you know that you are perceived differently depending on what hairstyle you're rocking that week. Whether it is your natural hair, if you're doing a wash and go, if you have your microlocs out, if you have braids, faux locks, if you have weaves, wigs, you're going to be treated differently according to your hairstyle. And I will say for me, I felt the most embraced and accepted with my microlocs than any type of style I've had before. That might be a psychological thing. Maybe it's me that's fully embracing myself. So I feel like those around me are embracing me more. I don't know. But for me personally, it's just been a boost in my confidence. It's been a boost in my self-assuredness. I no longer feel hypocritical when it comes to just the black beauty that I believe in, full-heartedly believe in, because I am walking around and showing other little black girls, and I'm showing other people that maybe don't fully embrace their natural hair or natural hairstyles that you can do it too, right? And so that has just been so ground shaking for me. It's been an era of rebellion too, and which is beautiful in my mind because, growing up in Southern California, where hair assimilation is a big thing, it's very important just to embrace you, especially when folks are telling you, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, throw some bundles in there, like that lady told me at church. I remember I was talking to a guy and I was starting to embrace my natural hair, and he was like, you're so beautiful, but maybe you should just get like a middle part. And he told me the whole style. I don't know, he was giving sassy, but like he told me the whole style what I should do. Okay. So people want you to fit their perception of what is acceptable, but it doesn't really matter what they think. The beauty and your authenticity is all that matters. So that's a little bit more about me and my background when it comes to embracing my natural hair. Is it safe? Well, let's pause. What is safety? What does safe mean to you? Let's look up the definition of safety. So I have the definition of safety on the screen here. Is being protected from or not exposed to risk or injury. So when the question arises, are microlocs safe? We really got to dive deep with that word. Are you free from injury? Are you free from danger? let's be honest, as Black women in the US, we're never fully safe. There's just an anti-Blackness as Black Americans and elsewhere that we are going to experience because ignorant people don't tend to want to understand things that they can't relate to, even if it's just a surface level thing, right? And so, that being said, a surface level pertaining to hair, are Microlocs safe? Well, let's start with location. I'm in Southern California. Natural hair wasn't always embraced here. Assimilation was a big part of the Black girl childhood experience. And will I say that Microlocs are safe from that definition? Maybe, maybe not. But I will say that safety can also be relative. So to me, when I think of danger, for myself at least, a danger to myself would be not accepting who I am. A danger to myself would be assimilating to fit a beauty standard of folks that maybe would not even accept me even if I assimilated, right? A danger to myself, an injury to myself would be self-rejection. So are Microlocs safe? Yes, in my opinion, they are. If you're doing this for you, if you are the reason behind your decision to lock your hair, to embrace your natural hair, if this is a pillar in your self-acceptance, then yes, Microlocs are safe. Now, I think it's important to note that we have made some movements here in California when it comes to accepting Black people for their natural hair, like the Crown Act, for example. Employers can no longer discriminate when it comes to natural hair because, believe it or not, that's how deep this shit goes. It was a thing, and it still is a thing, even with the Crown Act. I can go on an interview next week, and they can look at my hair and say, hey, you know what, we didn't give you an offer because the next candidate has more experience. I wouldn't really know if that's true or if that's because of my natural hair, right? But I refuse to live my life in that type of bubble, in that type of mindset, because there's always going to be layers of rejection and possible dismissal in various places, you know, especially as a Black woman, because of the Black woman experience and because of the ignorance of others. So to me, Microlocs are completely safe. You want to go where you're accepted. Sometimes rejection is just redirection to the right place, right? And you want to go where you're fully embraced for your true self, from the personality, from the hairstyle, from the spirit, from your soul. Like, you want to be fully embraced because you have this one life, you have this one body. Why not live in purest authenticity? Now, there's been ignorant comments that I've received where folks would be like, oh, I liked when your hair was like that, where I had like an assimilated style, right? You just got to kind of let it roll off your shoulders and dust it off. People are always going to have something to say, positive, negative, neutral, whatever. People are always going to talk. But at the end of the day, safety is what you create in your mind. Are you safe in your mind? You know, are you creating a safe environment for self-acceptance in your mind? What do you want to look like? Who do you want to be? What kind of styles do you want to have? For me, I wanted to rock my Microlocs, and that's what I'm doing now. I wasn't always comfortable with it, so I'm sensitive to the fact that everyone's hair journey will look different and will feel different to them. But I'm just here to hopefully encourage you. You're not going to regret locking your hair. It's a beautiful journey, and your journey is going to be your own. So all that to say, are Microlocs safe? Yes. And is it time to embrace your Microlocs? Yes. All right. Well, my name's Kiara. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video today. Thank you so much as well to my new subscribers. I didn't do it at the beginning of the video, but thank you for subscribing to my channel. I'm almost at 100 subscribers. I love that for me. I am new to the game, but I'm true to the game. And the stuff and the content and all this stuff is just going to get better. I'll be sharing more videos of me, my life, my whereabouts, whether it's hair related, pet related, family related. Feel free to follow along. And yeah, thanks friends. Talk soon. Bye.